Hey guys, welcome back to More Than a Mortgage. I'm your host, Gavin Sessions, and this podcast is all about storytelling and adding value to the entrepreneurial community here locally. And I'm today really blessed that Ryan Styger with Pacific Lifestyle Homes has graced us with his presence. And I know that we all get to vote with our time. So him giving us his time today is a huge honor and a blessing. So Ryan, thanks for being here today. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Gracing with presence and all that. That might be a little over the top for me, but I appreciate the kind words.
Hey, it's off the cuff here. We're unscripted, so
Yeah.
sometimes things just come out, but hopefully it's all genuine, and I definitely mean it to be. So,
No, it totally is. I think I chuckle because I picture my wife making jokes about that too. She's like, "Oh, you're home on time today," and I'm like, "Yeah,
ouch.
today. It wasn't yesterday."
Ugh. Just celebrate it when you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, hey, we appreciate you being here, like I said, and we'll just kind of jump right into it. But as we mentioned, you're with Pacific Lifestyle Homes. I think
hmm
you've been with Pacific Lifestyle Homes for a handful of years.
hmm
That brand's relatively new to our valley here in Boise. But yeah, why don't you kick us
Yeah.
off by just helping us understand a little bit of your story? I'd love to kind of understand where you grew up, where you came from, and how you got to where we are today, which is Boise, Idaho.
Yeah. No, it's a long story that takes some twists and turns along the way, but yeah, so Pacific Lifestyle Homes I started in 2012, and maybe a little about us as a builder. So,
Yeah.
the Vancouver, Washington area, which of course is Portland too, it all blends together there.
Yep. Yep.
That's home. That's where the home building started in 1996, and I didn't grow up in the Vancouver, Portland area. I grew up in a little town in Washington called Napavine. Not the fancy, classy Napa Valley.
Right.
Not wines. Maybe box wine is a thing there more than anything. But so small town kid after high school, end up down in the Portland area.
Yep.
Went to work for Pacific Lifestyle in 2012, and it's been a fun ride ever since. So done a lot of different things with the company that led me here to Idaho ultimately. Um, you know, for me, home building though starts with years ago with my dad. Like, there's a lot of people in our trades, and they're all genuine when they say it. Of like, I grew up on a job site, and I think that's one of the things that make home building and just the trades in general kind of interesting. Is a lot of it does start at a passion at an early age,
Yep.
and that was it for me. My dad did a lot of different things when it came to residential construction. When you're in a town of like 2,000 people, it's not production home building. So, it could be, the kitchen remodel here, the, I don't know, concrete thing here, or siding, windows, who knows, all
Yeah.
kinds of different stuff. But just grew up generally around residential construction, and I loved it. And, a lot of it was spending time with my dad. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I tagged along with him, weekends and that. And then in the summertime, later in high school, it was actually just working for him during the summer and stuff, and just always loved it. Now, I graduated high school in '07,
Okay.
and we all know what happened in '07, '08, all of that. And in general, even before that, my
Yeah.
parents didn't want me to have anything to do with construction. It was college, do something, in their opinion at the time, probably better with your life. So I did take their advice. I tried my hand at different things. I failed miserably at all of it. Law, medical, it wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Ultimately found design, and found that this was a way that I could, have that passion of building and residential architecture and kind of bring it all together. But that quickly just led me right to a home builder. And so, in the end, I think it's worked out pretty good. I found a way to make it all work. And I think home building and trades, construction in general, is way different than it used to be, too. I mean, AI, we could go on a whole subject there of how that's
Sure.
totally changing, those trades and what you can do with your career going into the trades. But led me to that. I do feel very fortunate because building is so much more than just one house, especially with, you know, home building at the scale we do. It's communities,
Yeah.
and it's just so much more than just a house that you're building. But 2012 is when I went to work for the company, and just so designing our homes, permitting, that kind of thing. Uh, Really fortunately for me, Kevin, who's the CEO, founder of the company,
Yep.
has given me a lot of opportunities over the years. That's led me to here in Idaho, and running everything that we do here. I've done a lot of different jobs along the way, from land acquisition, development, design, our custom home building sales team, and just all kinds of different stuff, which has all been fun because home building as a whole is just a ton of fun.
Yeah.
but yeah, officially, July of 24, we loaded up the kids and headed on over here to Idaho. So
Nice. Well, welcome. We always appreciate folks moving here that have the right mindset. So,
yeah.
yeah, love that. And our area is certainly growing. You guys must have seen an opportunity to bring the brand here.
Mhm.
That's likely when Pacific Lifestyle Homes showed up here, right? Was it around that same time?
Yeah. I mean, I spent about a year before officially moving here, going
Okay.
back and forth every 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
I networked more in that year than I think I had in a long time because you had to get to know people.
Yeah.
We'd expanded the company before. We went to the Seattle Tacoma area in 2013, and that was our first real like expansion.
Yeah.
And we learned what to do, what not to do, and one of those things was just really try. It takes a long time to be considered a local and to truly know everybody and have those relationships. Real estate and home building is a relationship industry,
For sure.
and it takes time. But if you invest the time and you get to know the right people, it makes it easier once you're here and
Yeah.
doing that. So, uh, I mean, I can trace some of these connections I've made that I'm still close with today here, all the way back to people I knew in Portland who I'm like, oh, you do something out there in Idaho. Who do you know who can you introduce me to?
Yeah.
And then trying to leave every meeting with, okay, who can you introduce me to? And asking for that warm introduction, and then just meet and meet and meet. And I'm glad I did because when I got here, officially moved here, I didn't feel like I was new. I felt like I, had a pretty good network of people I knew and understood things quite a bit.
Yeah.
Had been all throughout the market trying to understand where we want to be, where we don't want to be. Uh, so yeah, a lot of networking that year. But July 24 officially moved over.
Nice. So, majority of the networking would have been in 23. Does that sound about right?
hmm Yeah,
Cool.
23, and then in 24 it really probably ramped up more, just the trips, the intensity of the trips, seeing people more often
Yeah.
versus just new people networking and
Mhm.
that, to like, I got to find office space. I've got to start putting the land deals together, all that stuff to really line things up, hiring team members, everything like that.
Yeah. Quite the undertaking for sure. Not just setting up a small business, one or two people, right? This is an established business that you're trying to create
hmm
a new subsidiary or a new division, for lack of a better word. And
hmm
yeah, great work there. I also love what you said about networking with people. And I think networking with people is preferred to networking with non-people, I guess. But
Yeah.
I love that fish where the fish are, right? Who do you know that you could introduce me to, or who do you know that knows someone that I might be able to get to meet? I
hmm
think that's the best way to be able to meet great people. It's how I try to find guests for this podcast, for
Yeah.
example, is hey, who do you know that might be a great fit, right? And then when you warm it up that way, or when they warm it up for you that way, it ends up just being a much more kind of cut to the chase, profitable conversation
hmm
rather than dancing around it. So I love that.
hmm
You mentioned expansion to Seattle. Was that something that you were part of as well?
I mean, I was so new with the company at that
Okay.
time. You know, we I was a part of different pieces of it, but not in any kind of
Not
major
really.
way. The design and permitting of homes and some of that
Yeah.
stuff was kind of the extent of that one.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, it was yeah, different strategies. We wanted to go bigger in coming into this market,
Yeah.
and not just have one subdivision or buy a couple lots. And that's hard. There's to go from zero to a lot of homes is a lot of work. But with the right people, it goes better than you think it can. Um, and a lot of that people, I guess I'm thinking of the networking thing again, but
Yeah.
some of the best hires we have too were referrals.
Mhm.
You get to know people and they realize somebody you're looking for, and yeah, the right people make all the difference.
Yeah, when this market kind of hit the radar or hit your sights as a company for Pacific Lifestyle Homes to expand to, was that you that wanted to kind of get here, or what was the attraction to this valley?
It was kind of two. I mean, one, doesn't make sense to invest and
Yeah.
go start up a whole new entity and a division and all
Yeah.
that. But it was also just like we talked about, Portland wasn't my home
Mhm.
anyways, and I liked it. I have a lot of great years there. That's where I met my wife and we
Yeah.
started our family, but it just wasn't me at the end of the day too. And it changed around us dramatically.
For sure
I
did.
remember the last house we built there for our family in 21. I thought we'd be there for a long time. But then just you find yourself thinking about private school and different things. And I'm like, but we built here to be in this school district. Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
And so it was, part business, but also I just wanted to be here. And we were pretty patient. I would have loved to have been here faster.
Yeah.
But there's times to enter the market and times not to enter the market. And waiting till that timing's right was a big piece of it.
Yeah, super wise. I love what you said there. You wanted to be here, right? And I think the passion of wanting to be here allows you to be able to have the drive to build the business and to give the effort that it needed in order to make it succeed, right? I
Mhm.
think not saying you couldn't go to a different market you didn't want to live and help that, help expand to that market as well. But I think the passion may not have been there. At least
Yeah.
if I think about it for myself, right? If somebody said, "Hey, go back to Seattle and expand your brand there," I'd be like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
I think I don't want to go back to Seattle anymore. I came from there. I love to be here."
Yeah. Well, and there's all those little things like you're doing your day to day stuff and then you come home and then you're doing real life. And if it's not where you want to be,
Yeah.
whatever the things you're doing with the kids or the people you're around or whatever the case is, it's just going to drain you.
Yep.
And then you're not going to be excited about it and giving it all 110% the next day when you show up at the office.
Yep.
So, no, it's the first time we flew out here and I got off the plane and started heading into town. I remember I felt like it was a step back in time in all like the positive ways.
Yeah.
A little bit slower. People actually like talk to you
Hmm.
and are more relational versus that just coldness
Yeah.
that is Portland, Seattle, that whole kind of space
Yeah.
there. Uh, and then safe, clean streets. That was weird being downtown.
For sure.
Yeah, a lot of differences.
A lot of perks, right? You're one of a few 100,000 people that have decided this is a good place to move to. And
Yeah,
I always joke that the hooks get set real quick and then kind of deep. And it's like, ooh, how can we get here as fast as we possibly can? So
it is so true. We've seen it with friends that have come out to visit,
yeah.
and it doesn't take much before they're like, "Yeah, we want to start looking at houses." And yeah, it's a great area, especially if you have a family. Like,
Yeah.
where else do you have such a good family community environment? I don't know.
Sometimes it feels a little too good to be true. I'll reminisce back when we moved into the Paramount neighborhood, which you guys have development on the north end of that
Hmm.
square mile. But when we were first thinking about moving here, which was back in the summer of 16, we were kind of, that neighborhood was getting finished and we were walking around it. New construction has a way of, I think, helping a person visualize themselves living in a space. And I think
Hmm.
existing homes probably have somewhat of an ability to do that, but I think watching new homes get built, at least for me,
Hmm.
is like, oh, this is kind of exciting. This is fresh. This is new. And I was a big Seahawk fan coming from Seattle, and I remember Russell Wilson at the time or prior to it saying, "Hey, why not us?" And we
Hmm.
were walking around that neighborhood, and I remember looking at my wife in the eye and, "Why not us? Why can't we move here? Why couldn't we do this?" Right? And the answer is well, it's a choice, and we made the choice, and I'm glad we did. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everything in life is a choice, right?
yeah,
We make choices all day.
that's right.
We hope that most of them are the right ones, but find out at some point if it was the right one or not.
Yeah, quick book plug that I wasn't planning, but I did just start reading, and I should confess, I'm not much of a reader.
Hmm.
Listening to Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. I don't know if you've probably heard of it. I don't know if you've ever listened to that one or read it, but I'm early into it, and I just listened on Friday morning. It was a big, long section about proactive versus reactive. Humans are very reactive by nature, which means often it's I can't do this because I have to do that, or I have to do this, or whatever that is, right?
Hmm.
We use that kind of language all the time. And the challenge by the author was really, hey, you have to have a heart change to become proactive, which is, hey, I'm believing that I don't have to do anything, right?
Hmm.
I am choosing to do this and therefore not choosing to do that. But I thought that was such a freeing concept. And I'm sure I've heard it in other books before. There's not a
Yeah.
lot new under the sun, but it was profound on Friday. And I think it fits for here.
No, it does, and I'll add on like another piece of that too, because I just heard I've gotten hooked on this one YouTube channel. It's this rise and fall of businesses. It's like 15 minutes. They're short and they're
Yeah.
businesses we all know. And he makes them kind of fun, but there's little nuggets you can take away from each one. And he
Yeah.
also does them on like businesses that are successful. But there was one that he was talking about Steve Jobs
Yeah.
this morning, and when he came back into Apple and how he essentially said, we got to say no to these things and be intentional.
Yeah.
And then look what they did.
Yeah.
And people at the time are like, "You're crazy. This stuff, you're going to say no to this thing and that thing,
Yeah.
decently successful product lines, but you say no to that so they could do the great." And then look what took place with that.
And now all of us have these things in our pockets.
Oh, yeah. No, I
It's
mean,
wild.
there's a people plug I'll make from that too, because when they were talking about that, that's also where Tim Cook comes into the picture.
Hmm.
So you get the right person with being disciplined about what to say no to so that you can say
Yeah.
yes to these things. And that mindset shift, it's powerful. I'm not great at it. I oftentimes have to force myself to remember to say no to some things. Or in the case of like Kevin that I mentioned, he's really good at the we're going to say no to this so we can say yes to that. Or the most painful one is we're going to say no to this, and I don't know what it's going to be. We're going to say yes to, but there'll be something.
Yeah.
And that's hard. It's a constant struggle.
So hard as humans because we're not patient, generally speaking, at all, right? So
No.
if we're gonna make the trade off and say no, we certainly want to know what we're saying yes to,
Hmm.
right? And if it's a no, but we're not sure, that's yeah, like you said, really, really challenging.
Yeah.
I love that plug for that YouTube channel. I'll have to look it up. Maybe Levi can put it on the screen here for folks. I don't know
Yeah.
that we want to necessarily direct people away from this YouTube episode,
Yeah.
but a great resource, and I'm going
Mhm.
to look into that too. I think along those same lines, why don't we just kind of take that mindset into what was it like, specifically building the brand here, Pacific Lifestyle Homes? I mean, obviously, lots of challenges, and I know you had some things that maybe didn't go quite as planned, and probably some things that have gone way better
Mhm.
than expected. So, why don't we just kind of talk through some of
Yeah.
those things? Yeah,
I mean, the roller coaster the first year and a half.
yeah,
There's things that didn't go the way planned, and there's things that have gone better. It's amazing looking back in time at what those turned out to be, though, because you go into it thinking it's going to be this,
yep,
and then it's just not.
yeah,
And there's plenty of things that did go the way
sure.
we kind of thought, but whether it be lot acquisition,
Mhm.
land deals that I thought were going to come together that didn't come together, and being so bummed out, and then here pops up another opportunity, and it's better than the original one.
That's awesome.
You have things like that. But then there's like the one that I talk about often is the sales front of it. I thought it was going to be I'm not going to say easy to find good salespeople, but this market's different. And it's not that there's not good sales professionals in the Boise area. There's a ton of good ones. It's just different.
Yeah.
Internal, external, Portland, Seattle area. It's generally if you're a home builder of decent size, you have internal agents. And here it's a external situation. It's just totally different.
Yeah.
And that was one that I just again didn't see coming, and had to adjust on that one. And at one point, I also kind of forced going in house with some of it, and that didn't
Yeah.
work out. People are a fit at the right places, and I don't think also in hindsight we were probably ready quite as much too. It's not like it was all the people we hired or anything. They were good people. There's fit, there's system, there's timing of subdivisions being ready. There's a million pieces to it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, today we just now have some of our first internal sales team
Okay.
members starting after attempting it at the very beginning, didn't work, and then taking a big step back and saying we're forcing this on the market,
Yeah.
and we don't have to force it on the market. We don't have to do it exactly the way it's maybe done here, but we can find that happy medium between the two instead of forcing how we want to build homes, how we want to sell homes on the Boise area.
So you guys actually have captive agents now that are Pacific Lifestyle Homes employees. Is that the right way to think about it?
Yeah, we have one team member who's an employee who will sell homes. She's just going through kind of training and stuff. She's been with us for a
Yeah.
few weeks, so
Yeah.
and then we have a couple more that are starting, and we have quite a few agents that are external agents, I guess, if you will.
Yep.
They sell our homes. We have a schedule and all the things that they do with our model homes, but they still have their sphere of people that
Right.
they're selling homes to and doing things, and we try and keep the two separate so that when they're in our model home, they're focused on selling our homes and servicing those leads, which turn into customers, giving
Yeah.
them good customer service. But then, yeah, a day they're not in our model home, they might be selling somebody a home in CUNA that hit the market or something like that.
Cool. It's good freedom for those folks to be able to kind of do both things, for lack of a better word, right? So
Yeah, no, it works out good for them, and it works out with the right agent. It works fine with
yeah.
us. It is hard in home building though, especially when you build a very complicated house,
Yeah.
because it does take up so much time that that agent at a certain point realizes, man, I've got so much going on. They really have two jobs,
Yeah.
and it's tough to find that balance for them and not burn themselves out too. So it's I don't know, like a lot of things in this market. I think in 5 years, 10 years for sure, it's going to look so different here when it comes to real estate and who's building, who's developing, how's the process work. It's going to be totally different. The national publicly traded home builders
Hmm.
will continue to also drive what that looks like.
Yeah.
Um, we've seen it already and just how they do things differently than everybody else.
That's right.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, I watched it happen in Portland. I mean, in 2012, there was not that many national home builders. Fast forward to today, there's like 10 or 11. I've lost count of how many. And they all come in, and then there's really good smaller home builders that aren't there anymore eventually. And that totally changes how everything else works too. That trade base, those employees, it totally changes how a market works and functions. And I think we're seeing that right now too, not just in home building, but also on the real estate brokerage side of it. All these brokerages merging together.
Yeah.
It's a similar story, different part of the industry.
Consolidation, right? That's what they
Hmm.
call it.
Yeah.
So we have 3 or 4 national home builders at this point in our valley. We don't need to name them. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yep.
Not 5 or 6.
I don't think there's 5 or I mean, there's,
I think there's three
yeah.
or four.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4.
Okay.
I was thinking I mean, there's some that are definitely like I run into people looking to acquire land that aren't here but wanna be here and that
Yeah.
kinda thing. Um, but and there will be more. That's just a reality. Boise's a great market,
Hmm.
and, they see opportunity here, and they need to continue to grow and scale, and especially when they've seen some other builders catching traction that are publicly traded,
Yeah.
they start to follow and think they can do it too.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to serve their shareholders, right?
Mhm.
Theoretically, is continue to drive revenue and drive profit for the shareholders, which is what they're committed to do. So
Yeah,
we can't blame them for wanting to come to a good market. We get that.
yeah.
But I guess you've seen it happen in Portland, and I'm sure
Mhm.
it's not a unique story to Portland, right? And lots of
No,
major
no.
markets all over the country have seen national home builders come in and have lots of consolidation. So
Mhm.
you said you think it's 5 to 10 years of runway probably before the market looks substantially different.
I mean, I think year by year, it'll just continue to look
Yeah.
different. I mean, when you look at look at what, I mean, I'll say Lennar because I'm not picking on 'em or anything.
Sure.
It's actually if you look at what, like, Jeff has done, like, they had 0 homes not that many years ago,
Yeah.
and they're doing 400 plus homes in a short amount of time. It's incredible. And so if you're another national home builder and you see, well, they did it, you're gonna come in and wanna do it too.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, it'll attract more, and it changes how the trade base functions. The trade base, gets used to doing things maybe their way, or they gobble up those trades. That's a reality too. Um, employees, salespeople, how they treat the real estate community is a whole other piece of it.
Yeah.
Are they going to have their agents licensed, unlicensed? I mean, that one blows my mind. Unlicensed agents selling your homes. Like, I just can't comprehend that one totally. Not a right or a wrong thing. That's up to
Yeah.
them. And they're not breaking rules or anything. But think about that if all of those builders go unlicensed with agents and throw 3 or 4 more national home builders
Yeah.
with unlicensed agents, that totally changes how real estate transactions are going to happen.
What's the incentive for the builder to have unlicensed agents? I've not necessarily heard of that before.
You know, I can't tell you what the incentive is because I don't understand it
Yeah.
and why they would actually want to do it that way.
Yeah.
It seems limiting to me.
Seems
But they
risky, right? I mean, real estate agents are licensed to a certain extent to be able to mitigate risk, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're so big that I don't think there's a risk piece of it. It's probably cost at the end of the day. If you employ a person to sell your homes, typically as a builder, you cover their MLS dues and those different things.
Yeah.
So they're probably thinking they're saving some costs there. Um, the other one I want to couch this with, like, I do not know if this is a main reason for doing it, and it's a guess at this, but if you have less licensed agents and you're listing less homes in the MLS, then you're probably going to sell more homes to people that don't have an agent. So you're going to pay less commission on the other side of it.
I see.
So that could be a piece of it. I do not know if that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But the savings of not having your agent's license isn't that much. There's probably other reasons. Again, I don't totally understand it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't want to digress too far. Let's rewind just for a second. So you had a passion to come to this market. There was an opportunity to
Yeah.
expand Pacific Lifestyle Homes here. There were certainly pros and cons and challenges and things. And I appreciate your humility to say, hey, we forced something on the market that maybe it wasn't ready for. And yet it wasn't, if we're honest, it wasn't a never thing because now it sounds
Mhm.
like it's come to fruition. But I think it's also worth noting that Pacific Lifestyle Homes came out of a real estate brokerage or
Mhm.
something along those lines. Maybe it
Yeah.
help us understand that.
Yeah. So in 1990, Kevin started a real estate brokerage,
Okay.
and it was a successful brokerage too. He scaled it up pretty quickly, had
Yeah.
quite a bit of volume going. But then he was doing a handful of different things, whether it was some flipping of houses, rental, pool, that kind of stuff. That eventually he realized I can build houses. I bought quite a few. I've represented quite a few people on
Yeah.
transactions, and I forget the exact number, but he was buying homes from a local home builder. And
Okay.
there's a certain point where you buy enough homes from them that you realize I can do this too.
Hmm.
And so, we've never been a rental, a for rent builder or anything like that. The first subdivision was, I think, 72 lots that were developed and they all hit the market to be sold and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that started in 1996. So the real estate brokerage was before that. So, like in Washington, we have our own brokerage.
Yeah.
And the same with Oregon and that. And
Okay.
so that's where the internal thing probably comes from is brokerage to builder. Well, if you have a brokerage, you're going to use your brokerage.
Yeah.
And then that market just does things with in-house agents. And so I had a bias to that coming here where
Hmm.
that's what I was used to. So why wouldn't we do it
Yeah.
that way here? You realize there's another way you can do it, or maybe it's a blend of both. You just have to
Yeah.
be creative.
What I think I like the most is the value of real estate agents, right? I think that Pacific Lifestyle Homes definitely values agents, especially from a commission standpoint, right?
Hmm.
Especially, and I think you said it well. I won't say it for you. What's the reason for that?
Well, I mean, I don't, honestly, I haven't thought about it a lot. It's just there's the industry accepted or standard commission out there. So
Yeah.
you pay that commission.
Yep.
And I don't understand why you undercut it like some do. It doesn't make total sense to me. Or
Yeah.
you do it on different uh, parameters, I guess,
Hmm.
of how it's paid. I hear all the pieces from agents all the time. I'll admit I don't know how some of the other builders exactly pay it out, but
Hmm.
the little pieces I hear, it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So we've kept it simple and
Yeah.
we pay the commission on the purchase price of the home. But it's also just like with incentives too. We, all builders have incentives today,
Yeah.
and it varies by the month and by the community how much it is. But if it's like a lending incentive, if they want to use their incentive with a lender of their choice or our preferred lender, I think our preferred lenders are pretty good. But there's a lot of other great lenders out there like yourself,
Yep.
and if they got a relationship with you, why not let them use their incentive with you or another lender for that matter?
Yeah, we love that. We want all types of that sitting in this seat because we all earn income based upon helping people close on homes, right? Whether we're an agent or whether we're a mortgage broker, whatever that looks like, right? But we don't get paid unless we close, and so the
Mhm.
opportunity to be able to have our buyers purchase homes from Pacific Lifestyle Homes, and the agents can get paid, and the mortgage loan officers can get paid. Like
Mhm.
that's huge. That's a huge, huge thing, and I would say the opposite is really a bummer, right? There's lots of builders out in the valley that are very disruptive when it comes to that, right?
Mhm.
Agents aren't paid as fairly or as easily, and often incentives are not given to the client's preferred mortgage partner, right? Which is a bummer, right? We
Mhm.
send in a preferred's the wrong word. We send in a pre-approved customer to,
Mhm.
and they like, oh, they fall in love with the house. And it's like, well, okay, well, I guess our relationship with you, at least for the time being, is over, which is a huge bummer. So
Yeah. I mean, there's a comfort element to it also, right?
yeah,
A lot of we don't really serve the first time home builders or home buyer
sure.
space. And so they do have a relationship with somebody
Hmm.
who's financed the last house, the house before that,
Yeah.
whatever, and they just know them. They
Yeah.
trust them.
Yep.
It's what you talk, was it like, know, and trust and all that. Like
Yeah.
you've done it a couple times, they definitely trust you and they know you can do a good job. And so if our incentive is the same between the two and the dollar amount, now where it goes with you or where it goes for lender,
Yeah.
who knows? Sometimes maybe it goes further with you. I don't know. That's for you
Yeah.
and the customer to figure out, though. We don't have to be in the middle of that.
Yeah. I praise that. So I appreciate that. That's how Pacific Lifestyle does business. I think that's awesome. I've had a guy in that seat before. His name's Kyle Fredrickson. He owns a property management company, and it's really kind of similar. I've talked about this before. He's like, I am not a licensed agent because I don't want to compete with licensed realtors. I want
Mm-hmm.
to do what I do really well, which is property management.
Mm-hmm.
And when my phone rings, he would tell you this, and it's a tenant that needs help with a fridge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go give them my attention and not worry about my phone ringing because somebody else needs me to
Yeah.
list their house. Right. And then I have to decide
Mm-hmm.
who's getting my time today. Right. This
Yeah.
tenant that needs help with their fridge, or this tenant that wants or this, this landlord that wants to list their home, right? And so, no condemnation to realtors that are doing property management and
Yeah.
traditional sales, but I do think if you said it about Apple, right? Specialize in what you're going to do well. Say no to things that might seem a little bit crazy, but it's going to open up doors for you to have a competitive advantage and to really zero in on what you want to do well and who your customer is. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, there's constant fine tune. If you have a larger business, it's just you. I mean,
yeah,
you got to find your niche and
yeah,
what you're best at. Maybe don't go so small that you're just too hyper focused and then you're susceptible to the economy changing and
yeah,
your little niche gets blown out. But
yep,
I mean, we're doing a little of that right now here still, where who we are as a builder isn't different between markets. Our core values, what things matter most to us,
yeah,
but there's finding your space within the market. Are you in this kind of pricing rung? Are you in this one? Are
yeah.
you actually, this is an interesting one. We build way more two-story homes here than we do in the other markets.
Why is that?
Well, look at all the families running around here.
Okay,
Like it's just it's a family market. And so I don't think we're unique in that, but it's just here we build more two-story homes than we do in our other markets. And there's just a ton more families running around here. We have great single level plans and we build single levels and primary on the mains too, but it's just little things like that, or like our included features here are totally different than our other markets,
really?
which everybody thinks Idaho and they're like, oh, cheap, affordable homes. It is so not the case. And actually, this is an interesting one to me about this market. So, this kind of goes back to where things will unfortunately continue to change. And I get that I'm sitting here as somebody not from Boise that
Sure.
moved here about a year and a half or so ago, or I got to update that. We're getting closer to 2 years now, but
Yeah,
uh, so I've moved here and we're building here and we didn't used to build here. But I think the reason this market has such a high included feature spec, which I guess for those listening, included feature being what countertops come with the home.
yep,
Is it quartz or is it laminate? Everything's pretty much quartz today, but how much hard surface flooring is throughout the house? Is it a little thing at the front door or is it all the way down the hallway in the great room?
yeah,
Your cabinets go to the ceiling or not, like that kind of
hmm,
stuff.
yeah,
Um, so this is our highest included feature location. And I did not expect that coming here because I thought houses are a little bit more affordable. It
yeah,
would be just kind of like it is everywhere else in production home building. There's so many small local builders, many of whom it's literally the name of their company that they care more. And so they want to put a product out that is a great product, and that translates to higher included features. And that's just not the case in other locations. It's for the consumer, it's a very good thing because if you buy a home here in Idaho, generally speaking, you're going to get a good home because the level of standard that's expected is just higher than a lot of other
sure.
locations.
I like that. That's good
Yeah.
context. I did not know that. Certainly, I mean, we've toured homes before. We even toured some of your homes before, and they're beautiful and they are well equipped.
Hmm.
And so I did not realize the market demanded that largely because of
Yeah.
the quality of product that smaller builders are putting out there.
Yeah. So in our included features in our other locations, they're not bad by any means.
Yeah,
It's what is expected in the market, and that's the starting point. And then there's options, upgrades, and all that stuff,
yeah,
different expectations. But when we were picking out the different features, the designer we were working with, Karen, she said this to me. She said, Boise's a carpet snob market. And I was like, what? And she's like, you can't put this carpet in your homes in Boise. You can't do that.
Huh.
And now I'm happy to hear reason and logic. And so she pointed some things out to me. And I walked so many competitor homes before we started out
Yeah.
here, just trying to understand what is this market? What are people building? And I noticed, I'm like, oh yeah, Karen's totally right. There is a higher level of carpet that's
Hmm.
expected in this market. And so we're not like top tier all the way up, but we're a couple rungs up from what we would do elsewhere. And it's good carpet. And fast forward to today, most of our customers don't upgrade their carpet because what comes with the home is a good quality carpet. There's customers that upgrade and do different things,
Sure.
but carpet's one they usually stay with. But yeah, higher expectations, and it's good for the consumer at the end of the day.
When it's all said and done, does that mean the margin is the same as it would be in another market, or is the margin more compressed a little bit here?
It depends on how you structure your business. If
Yeah.
you're looking to make all your money in the design studio, it's going to change things a little bit. But for most builders, you're just trading how you're putting the house together.
Mhm.
You could start at a lower amount, and if you're not just crazy with your option pricing, it's going to be basically the same at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But every builder's different, and it's not wrong to have a lower included feature and to have more options selected and done. That's just how you choose to run your business.
Yeah.
So,
So 2024 is when the business started here officially. Is that right?
mhm.
Okay. When did you guys complete your first home here in Idaho?
We closed our first home in it would have been March of 25.
March of
So
25. Okay.
yeah, the first two model homes opened January 2nd of 25,
Okay.
and the third one was July 12th, and the fourth one was September 3rd, 2nd, I think. By the
Okay.
time we got to four, it gets a little fuzzy on the dates. The first ones I remember easy enough.
Got it.
Uh, but yeah, so we finished 2025 with four model homes open and
Okay.
in subdivisions and selling homes.
Nice.
We sold 49 homes in our first year. So
In 24,
2025.
25. Okay.
Yeah, so
And
open January 2nd of 25
yep.
for sales, and we had built the models in 24
Okay.
and a couple spec homes
Yeah.
that were started late in 24.
Which neighborhood was that? Or was it multiple?
Inspirato was our very first closing
Okay.
that we had.
Cool.
Yeah.
So 49 sales in 2025.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yep.
And what was the goal? Was that about what you hoped?
I mean, the revised goal partway through the year was 50.
Okay.
The painful thing of this is I signed the 50th sale the morning of the first.
Oh boy.
They just didn't get to their
New Year's
DocuSign.
Day.
Yeah, yeah. So it was like 8 or 9 in the morning. I got this video at home, signing it with the kids, and it's just, it's just funny because, like, to me, that 50th was like the goal, and we're gonna get it.
When it was right there too.
And it was for the customer. It's their home, and it means something. But
Yeah.
sign it on the 31st or the next morning doesn't make much difference for them. So
No, it's wild. My financial advisor just called me and left me a voicemail because I have a couple DocuSigns that I owe him. And it's not like I'm not going to sign them. It just wasn't a priority for
yeah,
me. And he left me a voicemail an hour ago. And so what did I do? I jumped in there and signed it. And I was going to sign it anyway. But it's funny. It's like, well, I'll sign something when I get to it. Right.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but yeah, originally 25, we did have a higher goal
Okay.
starting out, but the tariffs, general real estate,
Hmm.
economics at play, all that stuff, it changed in
Yeah.
2025. Might have also had just a little bit too big of goals for
Okay.
first year. And then there's all the normal real estate things that happen. One of the subdivisions, the third one that we opened up, Sagara, we should have started that model home months before we did. But the plat recorded later than it was, planned to. The developer had run into some delays along the way,
Yeah.
all just the normal things. So then you're opening a model home in July
Yeah.
versus maybe March or February,
Yeah.
or even better would have been January. But so those are sales that all get naturally pushed out further.
Cool. So 49, almost 50 completed in 2025.
Mhm.
What is the volume goal for 26?
I really wanted to sell 100 homes this year,
Okay.
and there's a way to maybe still pull it off.
Okay.
Um, so time will tell if we hit that number. We'll see.
Guys tracking to tracking to it?
Little behind so
Okay.
far. Rates going up has definitely dampened things a little bit.
For sure.
Model homes, again, I probably was a little too optimistic on how fast we could get some of them started. And we made some tweaks and changes earlier this year that are all going to be long term beneficial.
Mhm.
But in the short term, there's just a little bit of disruption that comes with that.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about on the phone on Friday, as we were in our kind of pre-record conversation, which I appreciate, was the importance of business planning, right? And so
Hmm.
you guys had a goal in 2025 that was revised to 50, right?
Hmm.
And you have a stretch goal in 2026 of 100,
Hmm.
and that may end up getting revised, right?
Yeah, I don't got a good track record going so far.
Well, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus from that standpoint. What I want you to help us understand is it's one thing to make a goal, it's another thing to make a plan, and then it's another thing to work your plan, right? So
Hmm.
help me understand the importance of as a legitimate business operation, you can't just let's build 100 homes and then hope that it happens, right?
Hmm.
What's who do you credit in your life, your acumen for business planning and your ability to follow the plan?
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, like we were talking, when I went to work for Pacific Lifestyle Homes, there was opportunities that I had in front of me. And I guess to make it simple in an explanation, there was a
Yeah,
known opportunity that I had done some contract design work for in the past.
yeah,
So there's that builder, then a builder that I just interviewed with and had met. And when I met Kevin, I realized there was selfishly opportunity there
hmm,
because I thought the company could scale and grow and provide opportunity for me. But also, he was talking about strategic planning and different things that at the time, I'll admit, I don't even know if I fully comprehended or understood as a
sure,
younger guy. But what I could tell was there's a direction and there was a place this company was going.
yeah,
And fast forward to today and what I know now and what I've seen us do over the years, it makes total sense. If you do have a plan that is thought out, you actually can get there or you can get 80% of the way
hmm,
there. And that is going to be way further than just winging it every day.
that's right.
I'll also humbly admit I have some of that winging it in me that I got to force myself to not do that. It's that saying no so
Hmm.
you can say yes to the right thing,
Yep.
use of time, all those things. If you're not conscious of it, you'll just drift. And it happens. It happens to me plenty of the time still.
Yeah, I love that. What would you specifically? How would you specifically encourage entrepreneurs, small business owners to make a plan or to work a plan?
You know, I mean, there's what we were talking about earlier is a little different than what we talked about on Friday, but
Yeah,
it's just fresh on my mind today. It's yeah, make your plan, how you're going to get there, all of that. Also, don't be afraid to admit when it's just not going to plan,
yeah,
and you got to course correct.
yeah,
But what's on my mind today though is the empowerment piece. Uh, Finding the right people
yeah.
that you can then empower to help you get there, internal, external, whatever it might be, but to leverage that because you can focus all you want on that. And if you get so deep in it, you're going to miss the bigger picture.
That's right.
And right now, I'll admit I'm having to pull myself out of that a little bit where I've gotten down in the weeds a little bit and I have great people around me and I need to step back just a little bit from a couple aspects of the business so that I can focus on a couple bigger things. And they're great. They know what they're doing and they'll get us there.
Yep.
We'll get alignment on what we're going to do and what we're trying to accomplish, and they'll go do it.
Hmm.
Um, and they'll probably feel more satisfaction by doing that too than doing it together or me doing it.
Yeah.
They'll definitely feel more satisfaction than me doing whatever that thing is on the plan.
Yeah. Every good business book I've ever read that talks about growth and scale. It's like, hey, you have to surround yourself with good people that have a different skill set than you, that have uh, an ability to complement where you're weak, right? Or
Hmm.
supplement where you're weak, I guess, depending on how you want to interpret that. But I'll resist plugging some of those books right now, but just because I have so many
Yeah.
times before. But yeah, I mean, the importance of building a team around you, I think, is crucial. I know lots of agents that today, realtors specifically, that are too fearful to even hire a transaction coordinator
Hmm.
because they're like, well, if I do that, then I have to delegate control of this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, okay, great, that's true. You do have to delegate and you do have to release some of that control and you do have to trust that somebody else is able to do something, at least 80% as good as you can do it. Kind of like you talked about earlier, 80% of
Hmm.
your goal, right? Um, but you'll never be able to grow and scale if you don't surround yourself with a team of people and just start with one, right? Start with one person for
Mhm.
crying out loud, as opposed to hoarding and holding too tightly. So,
Yeah. Well, and like one of the realizations I had last year around this is you so we had a couple of rough closings last year. Like we got a lot of happy customers,
yeah,
but there was a string of about 3 or 4 closings that were just a little bumpy.
yeah,
Overall, the homes are good homes, and the bumps that are there, we've worked through them. Think of it as a little delayed, not quite the level we wanted it at move-in. So just different miscellaneous stuff that comes from just growing pains,
hmm,
purely growing pains. And there's some people elements to it naturally. There usually is that comes with that. But I injected myself into the middle of several of those closings because I felt like it was the right thing to do because I needed to put myself into it to let the customer know I'm aware of this, I care about it, I want to see this through and make sure everything gets taken care of for you. I don't have the hours in the day though
that's right,
to do that. And that's not me saying that my time is so precious and more than others, but I have team members who that is their job.
right,
And some of them, it depend on the situation, or most of them, I would say, have skills I don't have.
that's right.
And so if I do interject myself into that, now I'm not focusing on something bigger. And I'm probably also coincidentally not giving as good a customer service as what one of our team members could do, who that
Hmm.
is their world, their job. So then you're like failing on 2 fronts of it. And that's not a good thing.
No, not
Um,
at all.
so yeah, I got plenty of humility of mistakes made along the way that you try and make better the next time around.
Yeah. In hindsight, if you could redo those two closings, would you have still stepped in? Was that the right thing to do?
For a moment, I would have stepped in
Okay.
and then gotten really clear game plan in place. We're all on the same page. Here's what we're going to do,
Yeah.
and here's what the dates look like, and then be very clear on who is responsible, and then step back, check in, make sure it's still
Yeah.
going good. But I didn't need to be as involved in the depth of it because I don't think I was helping much in the big scheme of things. Um,
Yeah.
I think I was probably one wanting to show the customer I cared, which I did care and I still care. I mean,
Yep.
there's one of the homes we worked through some things that took a little bit of time to get taken care of, and we did, and they're happy and they're satisfied. But I didn't need to do that. With the right team, you don't have to, and that's the reality of it.
Yeah, it's always tempting as the business owner. Even today, I picked up the phone and I may not have needed to do it, but I did it. I felt like the
Hmm.
partner deserved to hear from me. And so I did. And it was a totally fine conversation. I don't think I stepped out of line too much. And I don't think I took my eye off of a bigger priority that it should have been on for too long. But yeah, it's always a temptation
Hmm.
to, there's a problem. I want to insert myself in and make it right and fix it.
Yeah.
Right. So,
No, like I have a team member. So Joe runs our construction department. The
mhm.
superintendents
Yeah.
roll up to him. Our warranty guy rolls up to him. That guy has a wealth of experience and knowledge, and he cares so deeply about customers that him and I can make sure we're on the same page, and he's off and running. I
Yep.
don't need to interject myself in that. Having the right people makes all the difference there.
Yeah, and then turning them loose, right? Empowering them to actually go do what they do well, and then it
Hmm.
allows you guys to operate so much more efficiently because you're not overlapping, right? You're not both
Hmm.
doing trying to do the same thing. So,
Hmm.
common
Yeah.
sense,
No, that's
very
so true.
simple stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything feels complicated sometimes
Mhm.
until you really boil it down. You're like, oh, that's not that complicated.
Yeah. Maybe help us understand who an ideal customer is for Pacific Lifestyle Homes.
A customer who cares about design, uh, wants to be creative with their home. What I mean by that is like going to our design studio, meeting with our designer and picking out all the different pieces of their home.
Yeah.
We don't do palettes or anything like that. They go and they meet with our designer at our studio and pick everything out. And I think that's a big difference. There's no going to the flooring store, the lighting store, all of those things, and working off of like allowances and that. we flirt the line between custom builder and production builder
Okay.
in this very weird way where I think of us as a personalized home builder, where our customers are no two homes are the same. Like everybody picks something different. And we have all kinds of different ways to configure the house and things we can accommodate to make it all work. But we're not custom.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to the lighting store and then going here to pick out tile and here to pick out wood. They go to our studio here in Boise. They'll spend 4 hours at their first appointment. Some maybe go a little longer and some come back for a second.
Yep.
But they're getting the pricing as they make their selections so they know where they're at in the budget the whole time and they're designing it. Bryn does a phenomenal job of helping people take this vision, and the vision comes in all different formats. Some people, it's their Pinterest board that they got. Others just have some screenshots on their phone.
Yep.
But it's amazing to me how she can take this, like, oh, you like this, that, and this, and then start grabbing things and putting it all together. So a customer who wants that experience, which I would say is the majority. There's some that it feels daunting
Yeah.
and they're like, I want the completed home, which we build quick move in homes.
Sure.
That's about 30% of our
Okay.
homes that we build. The other 70% is choose your home site, select your home plan, and go to the studio and pick everything with it.
What's a general timeline look like if somebody was to come in this weekend, for example, and say, "Hey, we're interested in this floor plan."
Yeah.
What would that what's the fastest that could happen for them?
The absolute fastest is about 6 months.
Okay.
Um, the front end of it is where it varies so much, and
Yeah.
it's the permits.
Sure.
So, like in Meridian, it's incredible. We get permits in like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. It's
Meridian's
it's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
So that just dramatically cuts down the front end of
Yeah.
it. Other jurisdictions are, well, they're all about the same outside of Meridian,
Got it.
where, depending on how many permits are coming in and the volumes and everything with it, it takes a little bit longer.
Sure.
But I think of it in kind of two batches. There's the front end of it. So they sign the contract to putting the foundation in. It could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, it could be 4 months.
Yeah.
It's just, what's the ACC review look like? What does permit volumes at the time look like? There's just a lot of
Yeah. Some of
fluctuation
that's
there.
outside your control.
hmm
Yeah.
And then building the house, depending on small house to big house, it's about 4 months, 4.5 months, somewhere in
Okay.
there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if somebody was really excited and wanted to do something, 6 months would be on the kind of quick end, reasonable.
Yeah, that'd be the fast end of it. I
Yeah.
mean, the front end of the whole process too, so much of that is the customer setting that pace. We want to set expectations for how fast we're going to go.
Yeah.
But life happens here and there, and that,
For
that
sure.
definitely slows things down. What usually never fails is some of the customers who have the most amount of time all of a sudden have no time when, why isn't the permit turned in yet?
Yeah.
So I try and remind the team to set that expectation of you, everybody wants to go fast,
Yep.
whether they know it or not right now. Especially there's the emotional highs and lows in home building. When you sign that contract, you're at this high, you're so excited.
Yep.
And then time goes by, you're making selections. You're like, oh, did I make the right selection? Did I make the wrong one? You're looking at the total price. You start hitting that low. And then you start the home after that and you start coming back up that high.
Yep.
But just before that, that low, that's in permitting. And that's when everybody wants to go faster through it.
That's right.
And so some of it's just thinking ahead for the customer
Hmm.
of especially when they talk about things like when they got to move into their home, be out of a rental, school starting, that kind of
Oh yeah.
stuff. Um, so yeah, that low though,
Yeah.
that's the permitting right in there. You hit the high at framing because
Yeah.
you just saw this beautiful thing come out of the ground.
Yeah.
Then the next low is just the ugly stage of the house. Drywall's not that exciting.
No.
Then all the hard surfaces start going in. It looks messy. And so you're at that low again. And then there's move in and you're back up at the high. So
The roller coaster of consumers watching their home be built.
yeah, we're building something that really should probably be in a factory out in the elements.
Yeah.
There's so many parts and pieces to a home and so much various labor that goes into that home
That's right.
I mean, it's incredible the amount of parts, pieces, and people that are corralled and scheduled into building that home in the elements with all these factors. AI is not going to replace that.
No, for sure not. And a good project manager is really, really required as well. Or I think you guys
Mhm.
call them superintendents, right?
Superintendents, but also sales team members, like the real estate community. If you're good at what you do, AI is not replacing you.
No.
uh, people walk into that model home, they want to meet somebody that they can connect with.
Yep.
They don't want to, like, I don't know, take a self-guided tour on a phone and say, "Tell me about the kitchen. What quartz is available in
Yeah.
here?" Like, they don't want that.
Yeah, we do our best dreaming and inspiring, I think, face to face with real people, and so
Mhm.
you can't replace real people with AI. Not for meaningful things, for sure. Not things that are going to make a lasting impact. So that's awesome. I would say your team and any good builder has to anticipate and really communicate well all the different emotions and all the different just highs and lows that the consumer is going to face
Mhm.
as you bring them through that 6 to 8 to 10 month journey, whatever that looks like, right? Depending
Yeah.
on the process.
No, it is a journey, that is for sure. Especially, we built such a wide range of home from a $650,000 home to a $1.8 million home. And that journey looks a lot different. It's not about the price point, because the journey can feel up, down,
Yeah,
if it is somebody's first home, that's a huge emotional point.
yeah,
And they're going to be super engaged and super excited, and feel a lot of different things seeing their first home be built and completed and turned over to them. And then on the flip side of it, you have the expensive home that sometimes you're solving a bigger pain point. I just got an email the other day, for a home that we broke ground on about a week ago,
yeah.
and we are building this multi-generational home where the customer now is able to have dad move into the home with
Hmm.
them when we build it, and he'll have his space to it. He'll have his little kitchen area
That's cool.
and bedroom, guest bedroom, living room, all the things, so that he can live in the same home and they can help take care of him and they can be with him. And so they have peace of mind how things are going for him. He has comfort knowing he has family there. And they were telling us they looked for over a year trying to find the right home to
Wow.
solve, because that's a unique need. You're
Yeah.
trying to find two homes under
Yep.
one roof like that. Location matters, finish matters, all these things, and they finally found it. And you can tell they're at that emotional point of the foundation going in and just all that excitement. It's just
Yeah.
so neat to see.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, just for the devil's advocate kind of standpoint, help me understand what is the goal for Pacific Lifestyle Homes here in this valley? Where do you guys see yourself a few years from now? And are you trying to build a large entity that would then start consolidating and acquiring others, or what's the goal?
Yeah. I mean, the goal is to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Um, what we talked about earlier in home building, you do have to grow.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, you do face not being able to maintain,
Hmm.
even in some cases.
Right.
So growth is something that's focused, but it's not going to be to grow at any cost and any expense.
Yeah.
um, you know, Financially, we don't want to put ourselves out there in a bad spot. So that's going to be one check and balance to it. Where's the market heading? Is it the time to lean in and be aggressive, or is it the time not to?
Right.
Generally, I think it is a good time to be expanding and growing right now. We don't want to lose our culture along the way. We don't want to drain our people along the way. Growth is good, but depending on how much growth and how much year over year over year,
Yeah.
it can wear people out too. So we do want to continue to grow. What that looks like in volume and unit count, uh, who knows? It can look like a lot of different things. It's
Sure.
tough for me to picture an exact number, but I don't want to be doing 50 homes a year forever. Want to continue to grow and add units, because that also adds opportunity. Um, it's something I've come to realize in this last year is another reason why I love this industry is I've seen what it's done for me personally and opportunities presented to me that
Yeah.
I've been able to do things in life that maybe I thought I could, maybe some of them, maybe not, or didn't expect. And a lot of that traces back to this industry has so much to offer people, and so many different ways, whether it's you're in mortgage, you're in the real estate side of it selling. Heck, we have business analysts in home building now in our business. They're awesome. It's amazing we can do with Power BI.
That's true.
But all the way through, electricians, plumbers, framers, you can do so many different things in this industry. And if you are motivated and you are curious and you are going to put in the work and challenge yourself, you can go so far. And maybe you go to owning your own business, maybe you go to growing with a company. You can do so many different things. And I think it's one of the amazing things about our industry is it's not that limiting if you don't make it limiting. So
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much for sharing
Mhm.
stories with us and helping educate our audience and learning about Pacific Lifestyle Homes
Yeah.
and how you guys got started and where you're headed. It's super cool, super inspiring. What I would say is if this content is encouraging to you, informational for you, if you're inspired by it, would you like and subscribe? And then please share it with whoever you think it might help. We'd really, really appreciate that. Ryan, thanks for being here today. Any last words?
None that come to mind. You really summed it up good there. So,
All right.
but no, just thank you for having me in. It's been a pleasure, and it's been fun getting to know you two outside of this. And I can see why you're good at what you do, and I can tell you care about your clients. Some of the different examples you shared with me as we've talked about different things before this. I think this podcast is a small reflection of how much you care about others, and I think it's really neat what you're doing.
Cool. Well, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate those compliments as well.
Yeah, thank you.